My wife started getting mysterious calls at night, so I took a swab from her pillow and sent it for DNA analysis. When the results came back, I left the report on her desk with a post-it, "File these under, reasons we're over." I'm a 42-year-old guy from Des Moines, Iowa. I've been married to my wife, Rachel, for 12 years. We have 2 kids, a comfortable home, and what I thought was a stable life. I'm a systems analyst, and she's a nurse at a local hospital. Our schedules are hectic, but we've always managed to make it work. About 6 months ago, I started noticing Rachel getting phone calls late at night. At first, I brushed it off, her job often requires her to be on call. But these calls became more frequent, and she'd always step out of the room to take them. When I asked, she'd say it was work-related or a friend needing advice. I wanted to believe her, but something felt off. One night, around 11:30 p.m., her phone rang while she was in the shower. I glanced at the screen and saw a name I didn't recognize, Mark T. Curiosity got the better of me, and I answered. A man's voice said, "Hey babe, can't wait to see you tomorrow." I was stunned. I didn't say anything, just hung up and placed the phone back. When she came out, I asked who Mark T was. She looked surprised and said he was a co-worker who needed to swap shifts. I nodded, but my trust was shaken. Over the next few weeks, I noticed her being more secretive with her phone, changing passwords, and being overly protective of it. She started working longer hours, had sudden girls' nights out, and seemed emotionally distant. Our intimacy dwindled, and when I brought it up, she'd blame stress or fatigue. I decided to dig deeper. I checked our phone bill and saw frequent calls and texts to a number I didn't recognize, Mark T.'s number. I confronted her, and she insisted it was work-related. I didn't believe her. Feeling desperate, I remembered reading about DNA testing services. I took a swab from her pillowcase and sent it in for analysis, hoping to find some clarity. While waiting for the results, I continued observing her behavior. She was always on edge, defensive, and seemed to be hiding something. When the DNA results came back, my worst fears were confirmed. The analysis showed traces of male DNA that didn't match mine. I was devastated. I printed the report, highlighted the damning parts, and left it on her desk with a post-it note, "File these under, reasons we're over." Then, I packed a bag and left to stay with a friend. I stayed at my friend Marcus's place that night. He offered me a beer, but I just stared at it. My mind was on fire. I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing that voice on the phone, "Hey babe, can't wait to see you tomorrow." It kept looping in my head like a damn horror movie soundtrack. I didn't text her. I didn't call. I wanted her to sit with it, to read that report and figure out what it meant. I didn't even need her to confess anymore. I already knew. And the worst part? She didn't just cheat on me. She played me. Lied to my face. Gaslight me. The next morning, I turned on my phone. 15 missed calls. 16 texts. All from Rachel. "We need to talk. Why would you do this? What is this report? You're acting crazy. Come home." I didn't respond. I didn't know her a thing. I called into work, told them I was taking some personal days. I needed time. Not just to cool off, but to think, to plan. Then came the kicker. 2 days after I left, I got an email. From a burner account. Subject line, "Your wife isn't who you think she is." Inside was a screenshot of a Facebook message between Rachel and a guy named Todd. The same number I had seen calling her late at night. Different name now. In the messages, she was talking about how she couldn't wait to get away and how she felt trapped with me. She even joked about how I wouldn't have a clue and that I was too passive to ever find out. I clenched my fist so hard my nails dug into my palm. I wanted to punch something. Instead, I dug deeper. I found out who Todd was. He wasn't a co-worker. He was a traveling surgical rep, married. 2 kids. Lived in a nearby suburb. I found his Facebook page. His LinkedIn. Pictures with his family. His wife. I stared at their smiling faces for a long time, then took a screenshot and added it to a folder on my desktop titled Truth. I was building something. Not revenge. Just facts. I wanted her to see how much she underestimated me. 3 days later, she showed up at Marcus's place. I guess she figured it out. Marcus opened the door. I heard her voice before I saw her. Tell him to come out. I'm not leaving. I walked to the door and stepped outside. She looked rough. Dark circles, messy hair, hoodie and sweats. No makeup. That fake smile she used to flash wasn't there. Why, she said. Just that. I laughed, but it didn't feel like a laugh. You want me to explain why I left? You mean the DNA report didn't clue you in? Her eyes narrowed. What DNA? What the hell are you talking about? That's when I realized something. She really didn't read it. She saw the report, freaked out, and probably thought I was bluffing or playing games. It's not a bluff, Rachel. You think I'd leave my kids, my home, and walk out over nothing? She shifted her weight. You went behind my back. Swabbed my pillow? That's insane. You think that proves anything? I don't think. I know. Your little late-night friend Todd? Or is it Mark now? Maybe it's Steve next week? Her face dropped. Completely. I had her. And then came the twist I wasn't expecting. He threatened me, she said. That stopped me cold. Who? Todd, she said. It wasn't supposed to go that far. It started as stupid texting. Then it turned into something else. He said if I didn't keep seeing him, he'd tell you everything. He has pictures. Messages. Stuff I didn't want getting out. I didn't say anything. I didn't believe her. But I couldn't deny I hadn't seen this coming. She started crying. Real tears this time, not the performative kind she used when she forgot our anniversary or maxed out her credit card. I wanted to tell you, but I didn't know how. And then it spiraled. And I knew if you found out, it would destroy everything. I looked at her. I saw someone I barely recognized. And in that moment, I felt a strange mix of pity and rage. She wasn't just unfaithful. She was weak. Reckless. And now she was trying to spin it into something she could survive. But I wasn't ready to let her off the hook. Not even close. I reached into my pocket and handed her a flash drive. What's this? She asked, sniffling. Everything, I said. Screenshots. Messages. Phone logs. His wife's contact info. Her hands trembled. You didn't. I haven't yet. But I will. She stood there for a long time. Then she looked up at me, her eyes hollow. Are you going to ruin his life? I shook my head. He already ruined it himself. I'm just handing his wife the truth. She covered her mouth and turned away. And then I dropped the second bomb. I'm not just walking away, Rachel. I'm filing for full custody. You won't have the kids unsupervised until you get your act together. I've got documentation. And if you even think about fighting dirty, this flash drive becomes public. She didn't respond. Just stood there. And I turned and walked back into the house. The story isn't over. Not even close. There are court dates coming. Custody battles. Maybe even restraining orders. But that day, I took back control. And I'm not done yet. That night, after she left Marcus's porch, I sat on the couch for a long time. My head was buzzing. Not from anger this time, but from everything she said. The idea that this Todd guy was manipulating her, was it true? Or just damage control? The next day, I did what I should have done earlier. I contacted Todd's wife. Her name was Celia. She was a real estate agent in West Des Moines. Her profile popped up right away. Professional headshot, photos of happy clients, even family pics with Todd and their kids at the lake. Picture perfect. I sent her a short, respectful message with a copy of the DNA report, a couple screenshots, and my number. She responded within an hour. We met the next day at a quiet cafe. Celia was calm. Too calm. She sipped her coffee and didn't blink as she scrolled through everything I gave her. When she finally looked up, her eyes were like steel. This isn't the first time, she said. I sat back. Excuse me? She nodded slowly. Todd has a pattern. He travels a lot for work. I found out about 2 other women a year ago. I confronted him. He promised it was over. Said it was stress. I wanted to believe him for the kids. Now here we are. I didn't know what to say. Then she pulled out her phone and showed me something. It was a voice recording. Of Todd. Yelling. Accusing her of tracking him. Telling her she was crazy, paranoid, and that no one would believe her anyway. Then she showed me another. This time, it was him begging her not to tell anyone. Saying he'd lose everything. I'm not staying quiet this time, Celia said. Thank you for confirming it wasn't all in my head. We exchanged info. She asked for copies of everything. I gave her the flash drive. She smiled. It's time someone broke him. But that wasn't the end of the surprises. 2 days later, Rachel showed up at my workplace. She waited in the parking lot, looking pale and thin. I stepped outside, already annoyed. What now? She didn't say anything. Just handed me a manila envelope. Inside were medical records. Her name on the top. Hospital logo. Tests. Diagnoses. She had been seeing a therapist. For nearly a year. For anxiety, depression, and what was listed as persistent dissociation. There was a letter, handwritten, from the therapist explaining that Rachel had been emotionally vulnerable, heavily medicated during certain months, and possibly exploited by someone who knew her situation. I'm not making excuses, Rachel said quietly. But you deserve to know what was happening to me. My hands were shaking. This wasn't what I expected. This wasn't a simple case of cheating. It was deeper. Darker. And a lot more complicated. But I couldn't trust her motives. Was she genuinely trying to explain? Or was this legal maneuvering? A way to defend herself if things got messy in court? That night, Marcus and I went through the documents again. He's not a lawyer, but he's smarter than most people give him credit for. She's building a case, he said. Maybe she's telling the truth. But this? This is also groundwork. She knows custody is going to be a war, and this is her ammo. I nodded. I hated that it made sense. Later that week, I got a call from an unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. When I checked it, my stomach turned. It was Todd. Listen, man. We don't need to make this uglier than it is. I'm sorry about what happened. Rachel and it got out of hand. I've got a family too. Don't drag everyone through the mud. Let's be adults. He didn't apologize for the affair. Just for what happened. I saved the voicemail. Forwarded it to Celia. She texted back, thanks. He's about to find out how ugly it can get. But things didn't stay quiet. That weekend, someone tried to break into my house. I wasn't home. The security cam picked up a man in a hoodie trying to pry open the back door. He bailed when the alarm went off. Cops came. Took a report. Nothing stolen. No signs of damage beyond the lock. But I knew. I checked the footage. The man was tall. Athletic build. Hood low, face obscured. I froze the frame and showed it to Celia. "That's Todd," she said without even hesitating. "I sent the footage to the police. Didn't accuse, just asked them to look into it. Rachel called me the next morning. They know," she whispered. "About the video. About you and Celia meeting. Todd's panicking." I hung up. Later that day, Celia called me in a frenzy. He just showed up at my office. Screaming. Demanding to know if I was pressing charges. I told him he better pray I don't. Now things were getting dangerous. I filed for a restraining order. So did Celia. And the legal gears finally started grinding. Rachel texted me a week later, "I'm sorry. I really am. I never wanted any of this." I didn't answer. Because I wasn't done yet. I wanted full custody. I wanted the truth out. And most of all, I wanted my peace back. This story? It's still unraveling. And I have a feeling it's about to get worse before it gets better. It all came to a head on a Tuesday. The court hearing was scheduled for that morning. Custody, restraining orders, the full disaster. Marcus offered to come with me, but I told him no. I wanted to walk into that courthouse alone, spine straight, head clear. Rachel was already inside when I arrived. She looked small. Her eyes were sunken, and she clutched a stack of papers like a lifeline. Her lawyer sat beside her, a stiff-looking guy in a gray suit who never looked up from his notes. My lawyer greeted me at the door. A calm woman named Dana, tough as nails. She gave me a nod. "You ready for this?" "Been ready," I said, even though my stomach was twisting into knots. Celia was there too. She didn't have to be, but she came anyway, sitting quietly at the back of the room. Todd wasn't there. He'd been served with a restraining order 2 days earlier after the attempted break-in was linked to him by a neighbor's camera. He was officially out of the picture, at least legally. Court began with formalities. The judge looked over our files, skimmed through affidavits. Then the questions started. Rachel's lawyer painted a picture of a woman under emotional distress, manipulated by an outside party, trying to hold her family together while suffering from untreated mental health issues. Dana didn't flinch. She responded with evidence, not emotion, the DNA report, the burner messages, Rachel's deleted call logs. We'd pulled them with a subpoena, and a psychological evaluation from a doctor Rachel had seen once, but never mentioned in court filings. Then the judge asked if either party had anything to say personally. I stood up. My palms were sweating, but I spoke clearly. "I loved her," I said. "I did everything I could to be a good husband, a good father. I looked past the distance, the secrecy, the lies, because I wanted to believe we could fix it. But some things break beyond repair." Rachel stood, too. Her hands trembled. "I never meant to hurt him," she said. "I was lost. I didn't know how to ask for help. Todd, he found me at my lowest, and I let it happen. That was my mistake. Not his fault. Mine." She looked at me. Her eyes were brimming with tears. "I know I can't take it back. But please, don't take the kids from me." Silence filled the room. The judge said he'd review everything and call us back with a decision. But that wasn't the explosion. That came in the hallway. We were leaving the courtroom when Rachel's mother showed up. I hadn't seen her in over a year. Always thought she disliked me, maybe because I saw through Rachel's sugar-coated stories. She stormed up, slapped the envelope of medical records out of Rachel's hand, and yelled loud enough for everyone in the hall to stop. "You let that man into your house? You let him touch you while your kids were asleep upstairs? You lied to your husband for months, and now you're standing here begging for sympathy?" Rachel froze. The color drained from her face. Her mom turned to me. "I'm sorry you married into this mess. I warned her. She didn't listen." Celia stood nearby, quietly observing. I caught her eyes. She gave a small nod, approval, maybe, or just acknowledgement. Rachel didn't say a word. She dropped her head and walked away, leaving the envelope and her pride on the floor. I didn't chase her. A week later, the court granted me temporary primary custody. Rachel was allowed supervised visits. The judge ordered both of us to attend counseling, me to help with trauma, her to continue treatment and prove she could manage emotionally. I didn't feel like I won. It felt like standing in the rubble of a house after the fire's gone out. The walls are blackened, the roof is gone, but you're alive. The kids asked where Mom was. I told them she was getting help. They nodded. Kids understand more than we think. They just want to feel safe. Marcus helped me move into a rental closer to work. Celia sent a quiet text one night, he's finally moving out. Thank you for everything. I didn't respond. I didn't know what to say. Rachel called once after the hearing. I didn't pick up. She left a voicemail. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I don't even know if I deserve to be a mother. But I'm trying. For them. For me. I'm sorry. I listened to it twice. Then I deleted it. Some nights I still lie awake, thinking about everything that happened. All the ways I missed the signs. All the things I wanted to say, but never did. I don't know what the future holds. Maybe someday we'll be able to talk again without anger in our voices. Maybe not. But I know this, you never really know someone until the lies come out. And when they do, it either destroys you or it frees you. For me, it was both. I'm still standing, though. And that counts for something.